All right, we are looking at the Nesivos Shalom over here in his introductory piece, Nesivos Daas. We're going to look at Os Gimel, and just to recap, the major idea from Os Beis was to get it clear that when we talk about the Yetzer Hara and the negative force inside of a person, one's ego, if there's a goal, right? So the goal is more than getting you to do something wrong or to not do something right. It's about getting you to think and see the world in a way that is limited and blocked and small. Because if I can keep you blocked and small and keep you negative and confused, so I win as the Yetzer Hara, because all of the good things that come out of a human being come from a place of clarity, come from a place of expanded consciousness and seeing the world in the correct light. So the Yetzer Hara's goal is to keep a person thinking small, to keep a person perceiving a world that is less spiritual, that doesn't have guidance, that isn't good, that has ups and downs. And when the Yetzer Hara can keep us in that space, so we lose. And therefore, that was the tefillah of the Rajiner, that he would trade up all of his olam haza and all of his olam haba, so long as we the people could continue to live our lives with a sense of yeshiva das, with a sense of clarity, and not like animals that don't have that spiritual awareness. So now we'll look at Os Gimel over here. And it says, Mashmos midas hadas. So when we talk about the midah of das, what does it mean? So he says the implication, the meaning of the word das, yesh leva'er al derech shepirish maran hasaba kadisha mislanom zchus yoga aleinu. So we'll explain it according to the Saba from Slanim, but Maimara Chazal and Kedushin Mem Tesamud Beis, Hamikadesh Isha Almanas Sha'ani Tzadik, Afilu Rasha Gomer Mikudeshes, Shema Hear Her Tshuva Bedaito. The Gemara in Kedushin says, one who is Makadesh and Isha, he goes to get engaged to a woman, he says, on condition that I am a righteous person, that I'm a tzaddik, even if they're a Rasha Gomer, if they're complete Rasha at the time of the Kedushin, Mikudeshes, we still have to be choshesh for Kedushin, we have to be concerned that this is actually a valid marriage, because perhaps he had thoughts of tshuva in his das, in his mind, at the moment of doing the Kedushin, at the moment of doing the engagement. V'akushi gedola, and there's a big question. Eich yitachen lehapech me rasha gomer letzadik behir hor greda shemahara b'tshuva. How could a person go from being a complete rasha to being a tzaddik with a simple thought of tshuva? Umevar shemeduya kalashon begemora bedaito. The Slanim Rebbe says that the Gemara is exact in its language, where it says that if a person was mahar tshuva bedaito, in his das, it doesn't say lo b'mocho o belibo. It doesn't say that he thought it in his head or he felt it in his heart, but rather it was in his das. What is the midah of das? Ki midas hadas hi hakoleles chachma ubina shehem moach vilev. The midah of das is unique because it's the part of the mind that's not just strictly intellectual and it's not just emotional, but rather it includes both chachma and bina, moach and lev, head and heart. It's the synthesis, it's the fusion, and it's really the space of self, right? Because it's what you think and how you feel together. Kideisa b'tikkunei Zohar, like it says in the Tikkunei Zohar, Chachma mocha bina liba, right? We know that Chachma is the mind, bina is the heart. Ki amnam yesh asher hatshuva ba'a mitzad haseichel, sheba adam b'chinas Chachma mocha. There are people who do tshuva, and that tshuva is from an intellectual place within the person, like from a place of chachma. And then there are some people who are, it's not an intellectual tshuva, but it's an emotional tshuva, right? Coming from the heart, coming from the leif. Ach ein be'elu adayin shleimus, ela kishe tshuva hi bedaito. But tshuva is only whole and complete when it's through one's das, right? There's chachma bina, and then there's das. Das is that synthesis place. Hainu shehi klulam umeuchedes b'mocha v'libo she'az nikra tzaddik. If a person mentally gets it and emotionally gets it, and it's all in alignment with who they truly are, so that's called, it's in their das, it's in their true perception of reality. It's not just what they think, and it's not just what they feel, but it's how they actually see and interpret reality. That's part of their self, right? The self in which receives and perceives all that's happening has a shift. That shift actually changes a person from a rasha to a tzaddik, and therefore one needs to be concerned that this is actually a valid kedushin. V'zeh gam pesher inyan ha'aris hadas ba'avodas Hashem. This is also how one can explain the idea when we mentioned before of ha'aras hadas ba'avodas Hashem. We talk about having an enlightened mind or an enlightened consciousness. What does that mean? Hainu she'or elokuso yusbarach ya'ir bo. Right? And I think this this definition is quite important when we talk about ha'aras hadas. So here he defines it explicitly. Hainu, that is, she'or elokuso yusbarach ya'ir bo, that the light of godliness shines in you. Right? She'or elokuso ya'ir bo, that the light of godliness shines within a person. That is what the Nesivos Shalom means when he says ha'aras hadas. That's a big madrega. This is like deep dveikus, real connection. And it's when you feel enlightened, you literally feel filled with the light of God. But not just a feeling. It's b'mocho ubelibo gam yachad. You see it differently with your mind. You feel it differently with your heart. Your whole life experience shifts. B'midos of hasichliim v'hayergeshim, both in the qualities of your mind and in the qualities of your heart. V'ad shebetravayu b'inyonei hasechu b'inyonei haregesh roa ledas ki enon milvado. Both your mind, you intellectually perceive that there is nothing outside of Hashem, and you feel that there's nothing outside of Hashem. It's not just a fleeting thought, and it's not just a feeling that you have in this moment, but it's a shift. It's a transformational shift, and that's the true tshuva, because tshuva really happens in a person's das. V'zoche la'or Torah ve'avoda, and it's when a person's in that state that they're actually zoche, they're meriting a true life of Torah and a true life of service. Kein mefarish shuzal al excuse me al pidarko esakasuv ubedas chedarim yamalu. He explains in the same way the verse in Mishlei that says that das fills the rooms. What does it mean, das fills the rooms? Shahadas hi hamida hakoleles games kol hamidos. It is the midah that includes all the other midos. Right? It's a midah hakoleles. It is a midah that's all inclusive. Ki haseichel mishkanu rak b'moach. The intellect is in the brain. V'hadas mishpashetes gam belev. But the das goes from the mind all the way down into the heart. Ubechol hamidos, and in all the midos of the lev. V'alzen nemar da kanisa. That's what it means. Da kanisa machasart. If you have das, what are you lacking? What does it mean if you have das? Hainu. Hamshachas hadas v'hispashtusu b'chol amidos. It is the drawing down and the extension of one's das from one's mind down all the way through all of their midos in their heart and their emotions. It is the full transformative property of going from one that sees and feels the world one way to a person that sees and feels the world in another way. It's a total shift in perception. Now, v'yesh ba b'midas hadas beis dargos. Now, he's going to split das over here into two madregos, which in Kabbalah they're going to be called das elyon and das tachton. He's going to use a different language over here in order to help us understand. Yeah, so here he's going to talk first about das elyon. Aleph, bechinas ha'aras hadas. The first is what we've been mentioning so far the whole way through. Ha'aras hadas, the enlightened mind. Kenizkar le'el. Ka'asher mekuyim bo, that the definition of ha'aras hadas, like we said, when the light of godliness shines within you, it's kasher mekuyim bo, like it is established within a person, like the verse says, v'haya Hashem lecha le'or olam. God is for you the light of the world. Meaning, when a person is in a state of ha'aras hadas, when their mind is literally lit up on fire, God becomes the light of the world for you. You can't see anything outside of that. And what that means is there's a love and a peace and a joy that overtakes the body, that overtakes the heart, and that overtakes the mind. And judgment passes to the side. And one sees a world where all they see is godliness. It's a very high madrega. That's a madrega of dveikus and a deep sense of emunah. And then Beis, the second level, which what we would call das tachton, Beis she'amnam lo zacha laha'aras hadas. This is before a person gets to this higher madrega of enlightenment. Ach yesh lo l'kol hapachos, at the very least, a person still has behirus hadas or yishuv hadas, meaning clarity of the mind or settling of the mind, where the mind isn't running all over the place. You're still not stuck in the world. Meaning, there's the first madrega we spoke about, ha'aras hadas, is everything is just lit up on fire, absolute clarity. You see godliness in everything, everywhere. And it is such a powerful, beautiful, awesome experience. The second one is also a very powerful experience, but it's more of a state of clarity and calm and peace from all the distractions of the world. And it's what we would call kind of the first level of being present. It's like very, very present. And when you're in that space, there's no more distractions, and you can fully be into wherever you are. And the idea of the light is still there, potentially intellectually, but it's not fully integrated yet. Kalashon maron mikobrin, like the Kobriner Rebbe says, Zechus Yogan Aleinu, Hamuva Besfar Mekadosh Yisod HaAvoda. Hon ha'olam eineno shava l'shah achas she'ish Yisrael omed b'yishuv hadas u'b'da'a miyusheves. All the wealth in the world is not equal to one moment of yishuv hadas. Right? You could have all the money in the world, but if you don't have yishuv hadas, you don't have anything. The yishuv hadas, it's that settling of the mind, that clarity, that presence, that connection of self and reality without having all the blocks and the screens and the distractions of life. It's this clarity is an aspect of the big ha'aras hadas. Inyan zeh shel dea kanisa v'ha'aras hadas ein hakavana lebechina das below yagia v'hasaga. Now, this what I'm talking about over here, all of these ideas of das, they're not just, we're not talking about your mind and your consciousness without actually having to go do any work and achieve something. Ella lezu haba mitoch yagia. We're talking about an awareness that comes through work. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not the snap of a finger, but through avoda, one comes to this higher level of awareness. Kamaimer Maran Bal Divrei Shmuel Zchusa Yogan Aleinu B'Maimer Akasuv. This is like the Bal Divrei Shmuel says, Va'anachnu lo neida ma na'avodas Hashem ad bo'enu shama. And we don't know what we should serve Hashem, how we should serve Hashem until we get there. Al yedei das lechud efshar la'avod la'Hashem. If you just have the mind, if you just have the experience, if you just have the perception, that's still not yet enough to do the avoda, to do the service. Ela ad bo'enu shama, meaning you don't come to the fullest experience of what das is until you're actually doing the avoda. Hainu ka'asher magia lahasagazu ayedi yagia va'avoda. It's only through experience, by actually trying, by going out there and living life in a way that has this das, that you've actually achieved it. And what the way I understand what he's really trying to say here is, a person can sit and meditate for hours on end on the infiniteness of Hashem and really come to high levels of hasaga and awareness and connection, and then they walk into their living room and get in a fight. And this is like classic in the world of meditation, that people can go and they get into a high state, but the moment that they have to interact with other people, so then it comes down. And what he's saying is, if you truly want to get to what the Torah is being mevakesh from you, what the Torah is asking from you, you don't know until you actually go there, right? And a person has to go there and do the avoda in real time. And it's only in real time that you actually come to the hasaga of what it means to live with Hashem. It can't just be something that you do in your tefillas, you do in your learning, you do in your meditations. It's actually something that you have to put into practice. Rak az ha'aras hadas teromein v'ta'ales avodaso v'dargos ilos bioter. It's only then that this enlightened consciousness actually elevates you and everything that you're doing in the world. You don't come to the shlemus of das, and if you're medayik over here, it doesn't mean that you don't get something. You get something from the tefillah, and you do shift from the meditation, and you do shift from all these things. But if you want to come to the shlemus of das, the tachlis, the highest expression of, and the end goal of this bigger way of seeing the world and this bigger consciousness, that only happens when you attach it to action. This has to be an active process. This is not something that you just think about, but it's something that you live with and you go and do. Hayagia ha'ikvis hi hayesod v'harekel hashras oradas. It's really the movement, and it's the action, and it's the going out there, and it's the struggle. It's actually going out there and struggling with the nature of life, which is not simple. That's what creates the foundation and the backdrop for the hashras oradas, for the resting of that light, for the shift to take place inside of your mind, b'mocho v'libo shel Yehudi, in a person's mind and in their heart. That's in the same way that at Har Sinai it was first said we will do and then we will listen, because first there's a doing and then there's a higher understanding. There's going out there and going in the arena and actually being a warrior and taking on the world with all of these ideas and trying to live with that Behirus Hadas, with a Yishuv Hadas, and ultimately trying to get to a Ha'aras Hadas. Rak az chachmaso miskayemes. It's only then that the chachma, all of the wisdom that you picked up, is established within you and it has endurance. It's at that point that you more or less become invincible and all the winds of the world can't push you over. So the major idea over here from Os Gimel is he's really just trying to define the Daas a little bit better for us, which is this is not intellectual alone and it's not emotional alone. This is a total shift in perception, a shift in the way that you experience the world, the way you experience yourself, and the light of God shines within you. And at the very least, you have a clarity and a settled space through which one can continue to go into the world. And the second point he makes is that it's really all about action. This can't just be an idea in your mind, but it has to be something you put into action and you go for it in all of your relationships and in all the things that you do during the day. So I hope this was helpful. And of course, questions and comments, you're more than welcome to email me personally or leave a comment in the section below, and I will get back to you. Okay, wishing you well. Kol Tiv.